Thank you, Mr. Lynch. Now we'll hear from Mr. Marchant, Texas.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, my questions have to do with the projected losses that are the existing losses that are in Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Are you fairly confident, do you have any confidence that the loans that are being originated today and have been originated in the last year are high-quality loans and are not of the same quality of the loans that were originated in the previous 3 years?
Congressman, my sense is that the underwriting standards today are much stronger than they were. And I think the people who have looked at this question carefully say if you look at what these institutions are doing today in terms of new guarantees and how they're pricing them for those guarantees, means that the business is on a more stable footing, center footing today than it was.
With respect to the ability in the long term of having Fannie or Freddie or a successor agency repaying or earning back the losses over a long time horizon, do you see that as a possibility?
I do not believe, Congressman, well, let me say it the other way around. I think the government of the United States is likely to face substantial losses on the inherited commitments of these two institutions. Very hard to judge what those scale of losses are. Both the OMB and the CBO, as well as FHA, do a rolling assessment of those estimates. They're going to move around a bit, but they're going to be very substantial.
I'd like to explore the bridge. I call it a bridge loan. It's the loan that you're making from the Treasury to Fannie and Freddie every month to meet their obligations. And I'd like to explore if in fact the government or the Treasury at some point is going to have to take some kind of a loss on, eventually some kind of a loss on these funds, why would what went into the judgment call of charging Fannie and Freddie such a high rate on the loan that it's making to Fannie and Freddie, if in fact that only adds to that long-term debt and in fact may exasperate that long-term debt? Why are we not dealing with a lower cost facility? Because the cost of funds is this money coming out of TARP, or are there and how is this income being booked? Is it
those are very good questions, and this is under the authority we call the HERA authority, not under the TARP. Okay. And this was authority that, again, President Bush asked for and received from the Congress, and I've been carrying out the responsibilities that I inherited in that context. What we're doing, Congressman, again, we're trying to make a careful judgment of how best to minimize the extent of losses the taxpayer ultimately bears, maximize the chance we carefully manage these institutions as we promote a recovery in the housing markets. We're trying to balance those objectives, and we're going to do the best job we can, again, of trying to make sure that we reduce the risk of future loss from these institutions, and we'll look at the broader terms of our engagement through that basic objective.
But you see where a person...
I do understand your point. It wouldn't make sense to charge a punitive rate if we're only charging ourselves for that. So I mean, you're making the right point.
If you go into a small bank and make a $10,000 car loan, and then each month they loan you the money to make the car loan, then at the end of 3 years you could have a $14,000 car loan, and I don't know what would have been accomplished in that.
I understand the point you're making. We did take some actions at the end of last year to restructure those commitments in some ways, partly in response to that concern. But again, we're going to do what makes overall sense for the taxpayer economically in terms of reducing the risk of ultimate loss.
Thank you.